I don't know. I would imagine, but I don't know. And once it is, come here real quick. Once it is,
There's nothing but attorneys in there, so we don't need anything around it.
right,
Unless you have a psycho attorney, I guess.
which there are some of
Yes,
them.
there are some of those. Psycho court reporter, probably some psycho. Thing.
Um,
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Let me see if we got everybody. Okay.
I've got my two clients. There's Mr. Frederick. And I think, do we have an
Wait a
associate
second.
here?
What? I don't see, I'm looking for Miss Lozano. See if we can get her back on. Although, does anybody want a record?
I don't know that it's necessary, Mr. Frederick.
I don't care for one, Judge.
Okay. And Miss Jeffers?
Neither do I, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. So we don't need one here. Good. Okay. So I see there's two things, one, a continuance and then a motion to withdraw. Yes, first, is anybody objecting to the continuance?
Yes,
Mr.
Judge, plaintiffs are.
Okay. And now, Ms. Jeffers, I think your client to put the money in the registry of the court. So do you still have a live interest in this case?
Well, we still need to get our order signed. We did send it out to everybody in an attempt to get all the parties to sign. Mr. Barkley did explain to us that he didn't feel comfortable signing due to his motion to withdraw at that time. So we're here to kind of address that issue as well, Judge.
Let me get. And so Ms. Jeffers, when was your order filed?
Well, we were working on getting we didn't file it yet. We were working on
Oh.
getting the signatures and then we're going to file it, but we do have one ready to file or email whenever you would like us to do that. We were attempting to get everybody to sign the agreed as to form and substance part of it, but that didn't work out.
Okay. And so what is the order that you're wanting to submit?
It is the order granting Cortland Branter, Michael Branter, and Jennifer Branter's interpleader petition is the title of that order.
All right. So Mr. Barkley, do you have an objection to the interpleader petition?
In general, I don't, Judge, but given my posture and having filed this motion to withdraw, I was just uncomfortable about signing that on behalf
Right.
of my clients. They're both here. Were they to ask me, I would tell them that there's no reason to object, that it's necessary for that money to be paid into the registry of the court, and that the interpleader action has already essentially been granted by the court. But as I said, given my posture, having filed my motion to withdraw, I didn't feel like I could agree to it
Sure.
on their behalf.
All right. And Mr. Frederick, any objection to that?
None, Your Honor. I've already given the interpleader permission to sign that order on my behalf, so we have no issue with it.
Okay. And I know from our prior hearings that as Mr. Barkley said, I've already formally approved it anyway. So if you just want to e-file that, I'll sign your order.
Okay, great. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And may I be dismissed? I don't believe that the rest of the hearing applies to me.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So then we're set for trial on Monday, the 13th. And so first, I guess, Mr. Barkley, let me hear your motion for continuance. And before we get started, Mr. Barkley, have you been able to put together the claim or any information as far as the work that you did to get us here?
I'm working on that, Judge, but I have not filed anything as of yet. Again, when this situation presented itself, I've explained to my clients that I would be part of the court's instruction, breaking down my invoice into those expenses that I believe were related solely to the administration, and would be submitting that to the court. And so they understand that I need to do that. But as I said, given my motion to withdraw, I felt like that the withdrawal motion and the continuance so that they could secure new legal counsel was probably more important. So I have not filed that yet.
Okay. All right, so then I guess first, Mr. Barkley, let me hear your motion for continuance.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, in many ways, the motion for continuance is wrapped into my motion to withdraw. After our last hearing, I've been able to confer with my clients, and regrettably, it's been our mutual decision that I need to withdraw from this matter. I've explained to my clients that there is, in fact, a trial setting presently on March 13th, wherein the court is set to take up the attorney's fees issue concerning those fees that are solely related to the administration of the case, as well as the claim by Mr. Frederick's clients for reimbursement of their attorney's fees. And they're aware of that. Obviously, they're here via Zoom, Judge, so they have notice of my motion to withdraw. Our position is that if the court does in fact grant the motion to withdraw, that they would not be, both would be without counsel. As the court is aware, Mr. Jimmy Padaris, Mr. Jimmy Padaris is the court-appointed dependent administrator, and by law, he's required to have legal counsel in that capacity. He certainly could represent his own interests before the court concerning the claims for attorney's fees by his stepsisters against him individually. However, as the court is aware, much of at least it's been our position that much of the issues regarding the attorney's fees have to do with the breach of contract action and as I've described it, the fact that they're inextricably or very difficultly separated from the issues relating to the administration of the estate. They have asked me to file a motion for continuance to allow them time to secure new counsel. And accordingly, I have filed that motion. We discussed this with Mr. Frederick prior to doing so and asked if he would agree. And as he's indicated here today, he has opposed the motion for continuance. Mr. Frederick was not opposed to my motion to withdraw, but and I don't mean to speak for him. He's quite capable, but he was not opposed to my motion to withdraw as long as I agreed on behalf of my clients that they would not file a motion for continuance, and they were quite adamant that they need and want and believe they have a right to, and I concur, to legal counsel to move forward with the trial on the attorney's fees issue. So as I said, the two motions are, I mean, the motion they're very tightly connected. If the court does not allow me to withdraw and requires me to continue working on the file despite this conflict, then obviously there would not be as pressing a need for the continuance. But as I've indicated in my motion to withdraw, the conflict is such that it does not serve the legitimate ends of representing either of the parties at this time.
All right, Mr. Frederick.
Judge, this is a kind of rare situation in which I would oppose a motion to withdraw. We're doing so for the simple reason that at the end of the day, I think it's only going to well, first off, Judge, we're obviously halfway through the finish line here. We've decided the merits of the case. The only thing that's remaining is the simple attorney's fee issue, which could be wrapped up in 10 days from now if counsel remained on. If counsel withdraws, that's going to cause both sides to incur additional fees, which has been a big issue in this case, and we've already discussed it in other hearings. Necessarily, it's been a prolonged the conclusion of this case. Put in a different amount of time.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit on me, Frederick.
Sorry about that, Judge. Talk a little louder.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's not a volume. There's so much static and I can't.
I'm sorry about that, Judge. I hope that's not on my end, but I apologize if it is. But at the end of the day, Judge, the point that I want to make is just that it's going to be result in more expense and more time for everyone involved. If council were to stay on 10 days from now, we're going to have this thing wrapped up. And so that's a simple reason why we're opposing this, Judge. Also, well, yeah, that's our position, Judge.
Judge, Your Honor, I'd like to say something, please. This is Jimmy Paderas.
All right, Mr. Paderas, go ahead.
Yeah, I find it rich that Mr. Fredericks is worried about a timeline after this has taken forever to get to this point. You know, I don't know the law, but I know that I can hire or fire attorney at will. And after today, Mr. Barclay is not representing us, or we're going to need time to get an attorney. I don't know that's up to anybody else but myself and my brothers who represents us in the court of law. So we're adamant about having time to get another attorney if we're going to move forward. We've parted ways amicably with Byron, and that's just where we are today. And I don't know how the opposing counsel has any say-so in who represents us.
Okay, well, again, Mr. Frederick doesn't have any say into who represents you.
Yeah.
But as far as the motions are concerned, I'm going to grant the motion to withdraw and going to grant a short continuance. And so I guess Mr. Frederick and Jimmy Paderas and Perry Paderas can look at maybe the week of March 27th for availability. So.
Your Honor, let me ask you something. I mean, we can make this thing, and I think Byron on our behalf offered several times during this past process. But for me, this is a very simple thing. It's a lose-lose for everybody. It's not what transpired, what was told to us. We kind of really almost disagree respectfully with your decision. Have asked, maybe talk about appealing it to another attorney. But at this point, we can make this whole thing go away. We have $100,000. If we divide that $100,000 up by 6 people, that's $16,600 a person. The attorneys get paid.
Yeah, well, that's something that's not, not in front of me now. You can sure talk to Mr. Frederick about that. But as far as right now is concerned, I want to look at, we'll just start on March 27th. Anybody have a conflict on that day?
We do not, Judge. March 27th looks good for us.
And for Mr. Jimmy Paderas and Perry Paderas?
Yeah, so what's today? Today's the 3rd. Surely we can get a lawyer by then. So I don't see an issue. My brother may be out of, I think,
Can you hear me? Excuse me. Can you hear me? Jimmy, I'll be in Russia. So there's no way that and I'd like to be here. I don't know that we can.
And when will you be back?
I should be back, sir. By the 1st, I'm leaving in 2 days, and I should be back by the 1st of April.
Yeah, and then the new attorney is going to have to review all this stuff, and it's just going to be a nightmare. So, if we can do it, when Perry? When will you be back?
We're gonna. Just hold on. I need to look at some other dates in that first week.
Take your time, sir. Take your time, sir. That's when I would be back. I would be back on the 1st, roughly the 1st.
I don't know that anything's available yet. I'm getting my coordinator to text some dates, but Mr. Frederick, you available the 3rd?
I am, Your Honor.
And then about the 4th.
I'm available that day as well.
Okay. as soon as I can get her in here to check on one of those 2 days.
I guess, Byron, you could send me over Mr. Frederick's contact information,
Certainly.
or and you can send him mine as well.
Absolutely.
While we're waiting on the coordinator, do you want to give an email to Mr. Frederick so he'll have it?
I think they communicate with each other. I'll be happy to if you want it over the deal, or you want Byron to send it to you, Mr. Fredericks.
You could give it to me now if you prefer.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
JIMMY dot PODARAS at HUDSONENERGY sales with a S.com. That's Jimmy.Padaris at HudsonEnergySales.com. All together.
And I'm just for the edification, I'm emailing all three of the gentlemen, Your Honor, so that they have at least in an email address, each other's email communications. And I just hit send right now.
Thank you.
So back looking at dates, Mr. Frederick, how long do you anticipate the hearing would take?
Judge, I wouldn't be surprised if it was less than an hour.
What about April 3rd at 10 o'clock?
That works for us.
That works for us as well, Judge.
Okay. All right. So then just go over this again. I'll sign the motion withdraw, sign the continuance, set the case for April 3rd at 10 o'clock. And then Mr. Barkley, I think you can get the claim filed before that time?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'll get the claim regarding the administrative costs filed within the next 7 to 10 days, Judge.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Thank you.
Nothing here, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Enjoy your weekend.